when I was younger, like really young, like a kid, I had some sort of eating disorder where, and before you guys look at the title and then are listening to me now and want to type, oh, excuses, another fat person excuse. It's not like that. I'm just starting this video here. I don't know why. Um, I would just not eat anything. Actually, it was quite the opposite. I wouldn't try anything. I lived on a diet of toast with butter on it. And even with the toast, like, you know, when you scrape the butter along the toast, and there'd be all these little white bits of bread that have obviously been scraped around, I would have to pick all those off. I couldn't touch it until it was just neat, you know. I don't know why I was like that as a kid, and my parents, they never seemed to really do anything about it when they probably should have, you know. But I would eat toast. Eventually, I started eating more. My diet literally consisted of crisps, things with strong flavor like cheese on its own. Nothing could touch the cheese. It would just have to be cheese. Like cheese, pickle. I would eat pickles. Loads of crisps, Dairy Dunkers, which was a big step for me because I wouldn't let other food touch certain food. So the stick going into the cheese and eating it, that was combining two things. That was like a big step. I remember my mum would just, she would, you know, one night she cooked me a chicken burger just out of the blue, and I started freaking out. I was like, what, chicken? No, I've never had chicken. I don't want to eat chicken. Like, and I kept trying to put it into my mouth. My mum, bless her, she just grabbed it and she just threw it across the kitchen, and it stuck to the window. Like, and I remember just being upset. But to me, I just didn't want to put anything in my mouth. I didn't want to put, I don't know what it was. To this day, I don't know what it was, but I wouldn't try certain foods. And as I got older, I was started opening up to more things. I remember my first burger. I was, God, I was like about 13 when I had my first cheeseburger. Can you believe that? We were in McDonald's at a birthday party. One of my friends was having, and I asked for just a plain burger. On its own, no cheese, nothing, just a burger in a bun, no ketchup, just plain. And back then, they didn't really do that in McDonald's. And they came back with two double cheeseburgers for me, and I was just pressured by my friends into just eating it and to not like just cause a fuss and send them back, and like I didn't want to do that. So I was so hungry, I took a bite out of this cheeseburger, and I remember thinking, wow, this is really nice. And I finished both of them. I was like, wow, that tasted so good. All these things combined actually was really nice. I still felt a little bit sick afterwards when I thought about all the layers of food together. I don't know why that was an issue for me, but it was. But I just knew that I enjoyed it. And I went back home and I started eating like chicken, roast chicken with gravy on it. I wouldn't eat anything else. It would just, my roast dinners would be like a plate of chicken and gravy, and that would be it. My mum had to buy extra chicken because, you know, I wouldn't eat the vegetables, Yorkshire puddings, or anything else that comes with a roast. It was just strange. I don't know what it was. Even if it was an eating disorder, I can only describe it as an eating disorder because it was unnatural, you know. Excuse my hay fever, by the way. But as the years went on, I started to eat more and more, trying different foods, realizing that I loved them. I even ate jellied eels once, and I liked them. You know, a food that looks gross and to a lot of people is gross, but I actually liked it, you know. When I moved, well, I say moved out, when I was kicked out at the age of 19, I moved in with my partner and her parents, and I'm still with my partner now, Kate, as some of you guys know. And they took me in, and my mother-in-law basically is a sensational cook. I remember when I first came there, and I said, she was like, what do you want to eat? And I was like, look, I'm really fussy to eat. Don't go to a trouble. Just get me a jar of curry sauce and some bread, and I'll just dip it in the curry sauce, because that's how I ate. And she looks at me. Bear in mind, this is the first time I ever met my partner's parents. She looked at me and she said, "Fuck off," and she walked off. And she just was like, "What? I'm getting this boy something to eat." And that night, she cooked me up her homemade bolognese sauce with pasta, homemade garlic bread, and she put it in front of me and just walked out. And this is something that I could see was all homemade, and it would just be rude. It was so rude, and I thought, I have to eat this. I'm in an environment where I can't just say no. I have to eat this, And I was like, man, I was like 18, 19 at this time, and I was still eating weirdly. And I ate it, and it was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life, and she literally changed the way I ate. The problem was, the things I were eating since I was like 15 were all the wrong things. I was just eating crisps, loads of toast with butter. I wasn't eating much, but what I was eating was awful. And because of that, and because of all the shit I ate, I was just gaining weight. Because I was hungry all the time, and I was just eating loads of crisps, I would eat there, and I'd sit there. I make no excuses, I was eating all the wrong things. I was eating pots of Pringles because they were, like, tasty, and I don't know. I've always, now I pretty much eat anything. I have, like, a normal diet. But the problem is I still eat a lot of junk. I still eat a lot of crisps. I'm not a chocolate guy. I don't really like loads of chocolate, nothing like that. I don't drink either, so I don't have beer or anything. But I still do eat a lot of crisps. I drink Coke like it's going out of fashion. I am a good cook. I do cook a lot of good meals, as you guys have seen on my Snapchat. But I don't really exercise. That's the thing. My job allows me to be here at this desk, and I edit loads of videos and stuff. And, so I don't really have an active job. And in my spare time, I just either play games or play with my daughter, or just I don't do any exercise. I don't dedicate any time to it. As a result, you may not be able to tell much on camera, but I am a big guy. I have always been overweight. Right now, I think I'm over like 20 stone. No joke. I don't know what that is in pounds, in American pounds, but the point I'm trying to make is I've always been overweight since I was the age of 15. I was the fat kid. I was always munching on junk foods, and because I didn't want to touch anything else. And I don't make that as an excuse, but it definitely didn't help me having that weird eating thing, And to this day, I just still eat loads of crap on top of all the good food that I now eat. I now eat proper roast dinners. I make loads of Italian food. I love Italian food. God bless pizza, I think we can all relate when it comes to pizza. But as a result, I'm now in my 30s, and it's a problem. I can no longer get away with how I was eating, and not exercising, because I am now I'm now a pretty big guy, and I have put on a load of weight. You may have noticed, some of you have noticed, I've gone up and down in weight over the past few months. That's because I've been dieting successfully, getting into a pattern of exercise, but I just stop, I just stop, and I go back to drinking Pepsi all day because I love it. I'm not going to make an excuse that I am the size I am because I love to drink like loads of Coke and shit. So what's the point in this video? Why am I making this video basically calling myself a fat ass? I'm going to start... Oh god, this even sounds cringy. This is no bullshit, okay? I've had enough of being really overweight. The fat comments and stuff, that they don't bother me at all, honestly. I was bullied for being fat for years, and you develop a hard skin, trust me. I'm doing this really for myself. Like, I know this just sounds stereotype, like, oh, poor fat man. He's going on an emotional journey of discovery. No. I've had enough of being overweight. I've had enough of when I bend down to tie my shoes up, you know, it's hard to fucking breathe because I've got so much stomach here, you know. I have lost weight. I think, you know, I'm starting to look better. And I'm happier when I notice that I'm losing weight. So I am going to keep going. And I'm making this video really to reinforce that. And I want you guys to go on my Instagram and give it a follow and watch my story, because day in, day out, I'm going to get fitter. I'm going to do more to lose weight. And I get a lot of messages from you guys. This is the second reason I'm really doing this, because I get a lot of messages from you guys on a daily basis. Loads of people with depression, anxiety, whatever. But I get a lot of people saying that they're overweight and they've seen me lose a bit of weight and they notice that and they're like, Daz, help me. How can I do this? And I figured maybe you guys could get involved. You know, if you're out there and you're overweight and you've had enough, maybe it's something that we can do, you know, together as dazzlers, you know? So yeah, that's a little bit of my history and basically me just making this video to, you know, because now I have to. There's no choice now. I've made a video talking about how sick I am of being obese, you know? And that I've said to all of you that I'm going to lose weight. And if I don't do it, then this video, I don't know, a lot of people will just come out going, oh, yeah, that happened, Daz, didn't it? Go back to eating Kit Kats, you fat fuck. Like, I'm expecting those comments. Like, this is what I'm making this video for, because now it's out there. So I have to carry on with it now. Otherwise, I'm just going to look like a fucking idiot. I'm going to look like all the other people that were like saying this shit and they never actually went through with it. Like, I'm more determined than ever now to lose the weight. And, you know, you guys support me with everything that I do. So maybe you'll support me with this, and maybe you'll join in and like tweet me your updates and how much weight you fucking lost and what workouts are you doing. I really am interested to see what you guys are going to be doing to lose weight with me. I don't know, we should have a hashtag for this shit, shouldn't we? What should we call it? Hashtag Get Fit with Daz. There we go. That's it. Hashtag Get Fit with Daz. Yeah, let me know if you're going to join me on this. Oh, man. In 5 months' time, I hope to look back at this video and actually achieve what I want to achieve. Because on a serious note, all jokes aside, I am sick of being overweight. I've been overweight for a long time, and I really do want to achieve this. And you know, I spend so much time making everyone laugh and entertaining people on here, and I love it. I really love it. But I really just wanted to make a video for me, to you guys about this, and hopefully you guys will either get involved or support me. And yeah, it starts today. So like, love, caress my channel. Hashtag Get Fit with Daz. We let's do it. Let's do it. Let's walk past the Pringles and the Coke, and let's go straight for the fucking coleslaw. Is coleslaw healthy? I ain't got shit. If coleslaw isn't healthy, then I am going to kill myself because I love coleslaw. And I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Stay dazzling.